in my day.
Oh no, you're not going to tell us about the old days when you didn't even have a car phone.
I'm here at the Magic Kingdom to talk about the Carousel of Progress being completely reimagined with all new scenes, as well as a Walt Disney animatronic in the intro. Plus, I'll be riding Big Thunder Mountain for the first time since the refresh. All that and more in today's vlog update. I feel like Disney's been killing it lately with the refreshes and the rethemes, especially here in Magic Kingdom. The Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin has been like a huge improvement. So I'm really interested to see how this Carousel of Progress update will go. One of the first things I want to do this morning is watch the current version of Carousel of Progress to compare it with what has been announced today for the changes. And there are a lot of changes on the way. This isn't just adding the Walt Disney animatronic to the intro. This is a completely different experience. The Carousel of Progress will be closing July 5th to open next year in 2027 with its all new version.
Although our Carousel family has experienced a few changes over the years.
Besides, it's not going to rain today. My lumbago isn't acting up.
Who cares if I burned our Christmas turkey?
I do. I'm starving.
So as was previously announced, the beginning of the ride will start with a Walt Disney animatronic. Walt will be surrounded by different artifacts, but then as we get into the ride, it really changes. The first scene is now the 1960s, a good time period to start because we can focus on things like the moon landing, something that is historic but also memorable for today's generation. Here in the 1960s, it feels like this is as good as it gets. You know, we're traveling into space. We have all this new innovation at the World's Fair. And this is where it gets really exciting for me as someone who grew up in the 80s. The next decade is the 80s, and it's gonna have so much nostalgia for my generation and even future generations who are all like 80s hungry right now. And I think that's like the main reason this refresh is even happening, is to keep the attraction, you know, reinvigorated and updated for today's generations, because no one remembers what a sarsaparilla is anymore.
We're drinking root beer now.
And the daughter will have band posters from 80s bands up in her room. Uncle Orville has been updated and he's investing in this thing called Apple. John Progress is like, it'll never work. And it's not like this is the first time this attraction's been updated. It started in 1964, 65 World's Fair. It went to Disneyland, it got a little change. When it came here to Disney World, of course, we got the original song.
Now is the best time of your life.
And then we've got that 90s ending. But that 90s ending is a little outdated. So the next decade we go into is the 90s. 1999 to be exact. So they could talk about things like Y2K and the dawn of a new millennium. No more lines about car phones.
You're not going to tell us about the old days when you didn't even have a car phone.
But what I'm really, really excited for is the final scene, because the finale now will be based so far into the future that it will never be outdated. It's like off-world, on another planet. Outside the window is like an alien landscape. Maybe it'll never actually happen, but it's a fantasy future, like Horizons. You know, Horizons had off-planet living, and it's not necessarily like we expect it to happen, but it's an optimistic view of the future that's fun and different and not based entirely in reality, so it will be timeless. I think what's most important is things that will be remaining. This song, of course, will remain. All of the characters that we know and love will be there. I assume they'll be recast, although Disney hasn't said who yet. But it'll also be filled with like a lot of nostalgia. It's an opportunity for inserting things that we remember from our childhood, or depending on what decade you grew up in, there'll be different things that you remember. The Imagineers actually scoured their homes for things they had growing up, like the Connects roller coaster set that'll be somewhere in the scene from the 90s. And I think that's a really neat way to make it so this attraction kind of lasts another 50 years. This is also an opportunity to remove some very outdated moments within the attraction.
It's not a toy, you know.
la la. So that's little Egypt doing the hoochie coochie, eh, Dad?
Isn't she a knockout?
One thing that Disney said that I'm actually really excited for is some old school effects will be remaining, like the appliances in the original version that, you know, open and close and vibrate and whatever. Especially in the 90s scene, there'll be like a lot of single-use appliances in this new version, but they'll be using old school mechanical effects to rattle them back and forth and open and close them. And I feel like the kinetic motion is what made the original version kind of so like comforting, quaint. And all of the animatronics will be remaining but upgraded. Oh, a bunny. I feel like I'm in like a Disney animated film right now. I'm all for it, but only because the other refreshes and rethemes that have been happening here at Disney World have been so good that I'm on board. So take your opportunity to go see the show, do the attraction one more time in the next month or so before it closes. Like I just did. I'm really looking forward to it because like right now, the current version of the show, right as it gets like halfway through, it starts to feel more nostalgic for me. Like the cabinets in the middle scene are like, oh, that looks like the cabinets I had growing up. So I can't imagine how I'm gonna feel when it's actually the decades I grew up and existed in. And then the hopeful future that, you know, I kind of hoped would exist when I was little and it was riding horizons. I think this is kind of a love letter to me. They made this for me. So I'm excited.
The absolute best way to see tomorrow.
But now I'm gonna move from one refresh that's about to happen to one that just did. I have not ridden Big Thunder Mountain Railroad since it reopened, and I'm excited to see if the track is smoother or quieter since they completely retracked it. Wow, the repaint on Cinderella Castle is so good. I feel like things like that and the fountain returning back in front of Spaceship Earth at Epcot for the entry plaza is really playing to like audiences like me. Like, look at this. It is like Disney balancing new attractions for today's youth while also bringing back nostalgia for people like me who have been coming to the parks since the 80s. This is a good blend of the two. This is a castle that's both modern colors and classic colors. I'm just glad the pink is gone. Okay, I made it to wow, the line looks long for 40 minutes. I don't know if I've ever seen these working. Are these new or they just never work? It's like toothsome up in here. This is one of my favorite rides already, so I'm just expecting it to be like a new updated version of the same ride. Not really, I don't have like high expectations for the changes, but as long as it keeps the charm of what I liked about the original, I'll be happy. She's so pretty. Okay, so I rode it 2 times and I like it. I mean, I've always liked Big Thunder Mountain. It's one of my favorite attractions and it still feels like Big Thunder Mountain. The soul of the attraction remains. It is smoother, which, you know, at first I was a little, do I want it to be smoother? Honestly, my biggest concern was whether the lift hills would still be incredibly loud, and they are still loud. It's a weird thing to be nostalgic for. One of the good things about it being smoother is that they did lower the height requirement, and I saw a lot of little kids riding, so I can't complain, honestly. For the most part, though, it just seemed like a cleaner version of the same ride. A lot of the repaint was really good. The old town, like, it's pristine. I know as of right now when I'm recording this, the possums are still missing, but Disney assured us that the possums are coming back. Breaking news. I didn't really care about the lighting effects on the first lift hill. The bats, though, were cool. There's a lot more bats, but like the lights turning red or whatever, half the train's already up the hill by the time that happens, so most people might not even notice it. What I was excited about was seeing the waterfall on either side of the like first lift. I hadn't seen that working in years. So seeing that back again, that is good. And as far as the finale goes, like with the new gold nugget, I mean, it's okay. What I didn't know is that the walls have like all shiny gold on them and like sparkly. That I liked. Overall though, I'm happy with the update. I'm happy that Big Thunder Mountain is here to stay for another 40 years and that a younger generation can, because this is my first coaster ever. This was the first coaster that I wasn't too scared to ride. And I'm sure back in the 90s or late 80s when I rode it, it was probably not as bumpy as it was a couple years ago. So maybe it was time for a new track. Checking in real quick before we go on the Cars area expansion here in Frontierland. There's another tall form being built on the right side that's kind of similar to the big tall form that was on the left side. The best views of the work was from the exterior queue for Big Thunder Mountain. I am super curious to see how this is all gonna play out. These work walls are like way out now, much further than they had been. So I do wonder if they're working on like that outer edge stream that will eventually kind of surround the Cars expansion. And once that stream is done, it would be neat if they open that first to kind of like make a nice peaceful border around the construction site. We got a crane on the move. A crane on the move. At least the walkway in between the walls is still open for now. Big Thunder Work Wall Land. That is going to do it for this update at Magic Kingdom, but be sure to subscribe to this channel, Park Stoppers, for more in-park updates, and check out the other channel, Theme Park Stop, for in-depth permit updates and other news. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Theater never stops, inspiring new generations to dream of a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.